What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Entre Mike with Entre short for entrepreneur. I'm going to talk to you guys today about why you should get your CDL in 2023. I think it's a serious problem that a lot of people make while entering the industry. And like I said, I did it myself. Started off driving 26-foot box trucks. No prior knowledge of how to drive a commercial vehicle with air brakes or that was, 13 feet in clearance. Never drove a combination vehicle before driving, doing Hotshot, and I've been doing that, almost going on 2 years. Although I still made money without having my CDL, I still think it's a couple of reasons why you guys are gonna want to get yours. So if you guys like this content and want to see more like it, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment down where you're from if you're new. So as far as explaining why having a CDL setup can be better than having a non-CDL setup, we'll start off, and this usually my channel is catered towards people who looking into the non-CDL sector, like Hotshot or box trucks, just because I've done them in my experience. And a lot of people see that and they get inspired to think, I don't need any commercial license, just come out here and start making money. I can do it with my Class C license as long as I stay under the gross vehicle weight of 26,001. But let me explain to you why having a CDL can be better. For the Hotshot side, you're gonna be able to get a longer trailer. With that additional weight, you'll have bigger axles, which will allow you to haul more, along with, of course, way bigger leaf springs, better brakes, just a safer vehicle. Same with having a dually over a single rear wheel. You'll just have more safety, knowing if you blow out one of your rear tires, your 3 will be enough to get you to a, either not a truck stop. Truck stops don't really work on hot shots, but you'll be able to get it to a tire plus or a discount tire. And with the box trucks, you'll also be able to haul more weight. And I wouldn't recommend hauling heavy weight on a box truck or a hot shot. It's just better to have, so when you do exceed that limit, if a broker tell you, hey, you can scale, let's say 10,000 pounds, and TQL posts a load for 10,000 pounds, but once you pick it up, it's 13,000 pounds. Sometimes it's not even on them. Maybe they didn't know. The shipper may have just overloaded you when they seen you had more space. And I remember one of my first box trucks loads, that's exactly what happened. I know we took a load to Ohio, and the load ended up being like 13,000 pounds. And you could feel the difference. You could feel the difference. And if we would have went, through a scale house, we would have got fined for it. Which, of course, we could have probably made the broker liable for it, but it still would have affected our safety score. Another pro for hot shots and why I think you should get a CDL setup. Shout out to Hotshot Mac. I know he's riding a 5500 setup, but I remember comparing prices on the trucks, specifically for the Dodge Rams. And he has a Dodge Ram 5500. I got a 3500, and I was asking because we got the same year and we got our newer trucks around the same time. The Laramie cost around 73,000. I think even the base model cost like 68,000 for a 3500. I believe he got his Dodge Ram 5500 for 63,000. So it was a better deal because it's a 5500. I think it's a different class of a truck. So if I'm not mistaken, maybe class 6 or class 7. I think it's a class 5 truck. Don't quote me on it. But I think it's a better class truck. It's gonna have better brakes, bigger axles. You can haul more on your drives. I think it's just it's not the best ride, but it's more of just a commercial vehicle. It's gonna last longer. It's gonna be a little more durable. So yeah, I would look into that if you guys are looking to go on the CDL route. If you go to non-CDL route, there's nothing wrong with the 2500 or 3500s, but like I said, they're probably going to be a little more pricey. And the same thing goes for the CDL box trucks. Believe it or not, CDL box trucks that can haul more and are probably a little more durable cost more than the non-CDL box trucks. And I'm not saying it as if I'm some expert on trucks and engines and all of that, but that's just what I hear, so I don't see anything wrong with it's nothing wrong with getting your CDL. This is why I believe non-CDL will be a thing of the past in the future. I do not believe, let me say this first before all the gurus get me. I do not believe that LTL will not be a thing anymore. Like less than truckload, partial volume loads, like where you only need 10 to 12 pallets at an expedited rate or a 40-foot container at an expedited rate. I do not think that will go out of demand. I do not think, there are some places where you're still gonna need box trucks. The problem is, I believe there are going to be more regulation as what is going to be required to operate the box trucks. There has been way more regulations in trucking since 2017. In 2017, they mandated the ELD, even though I think earlier in the either late 1990s or early 2000s, they were actually already talking about implementing the ELD. But in 2017, they actually implemented all commercial drivers. I don't know if it's basically crossing state lines that you're required to have an ELD. I'm not too sure if you just got a DOT number, you have to run an ELD. But ELD is like, I think it's in the top 4 for why owner operators are out of service. So that doesn't necessarily have, that don't really have much to do with you having your CDL, but it has much to do with you being a commercial driver that's crossing state lines. It's already a new regulation that's coming into place. And in 2022, February 7th, or was it 2021? I think it was 2022. Yeah, 2022, February 7th was the deadline where if you didn't have your class learning permit, you had to go to a accredited CDL school in order to get your CDL. And now they're charging way more. Like, it used to be maybe $2,000, $3,000 to go to an accredited school or non-accredited school. I've seen schools for as low as $1,000 in West Virginia. It was called CDL Assist. It was like a 7-day program where you went in, they crammed all the information, and you got your CDL in 7 days. And you did the test in flatbed trailer, so they made it super, super easy. So the point is, it's not necessarily harder to get your CDL, because when you go to CDL schools, they're just teaching you how to pass the test. They're not necessarily teaching you how to drive a combination vehicle. That's just the truth, in my opinion. And it really was that way back then too. I believe some trainers may have tried, like some guys may have went to some trainers that tried a little harder, but anybody could have really just got, like, I could have paid a guy in Kansas, I think like $400 for 2 days. In those 2 days, he was just gonna cram to me, basically. You had to already have your class learner permit, but you could basically cram how to alley dock, parallel park, and what, you know, it's straight back. It's not that hard, but people try to make it seem like the new schools aren't really teaching. Back then, you didn't really have to know how to drive. You just had to get somebody to teach you how to drive, and you could really go get your CDL for free. But after the CLP, after them requiring that you need to have the entry level driving training, ELDT training, for every accredited school you go to, you're gonna have to pay probably double in price. Not necessarily for the ELDT training, but CDL schools that are accredited know that they're a commodity now. They know that if you want your CDL, you have to go to school, so they're charging more for it. And I think it's a reason why. I don't think they would do that just for the people who trying to get their CDL. I feel like maybe something different is coming. Maybe they're gonna get rid of having non-CDL drivers. And I'm not speaking about cargo vans or Sprinter vans. I think this is mainly for the trucks, you know, they got to actually go through the scales with MC authority numbers, like with gross vehicle weights over 10,000 pounds. But in my opinion, I really feel like why it's important, because it's not just affecting CDL holders, but all owner operators that are new and want to get into trucking, is because they're not necessarily weeding out the independent owner operators, but most of these big mega carriers are the ones who are enforcing that. You know, we want them to do this, we want them to do that, we want them to have an ELD. They kind of want to limit the competition, because now, coming pretty soon, I know one thing that a lot of people didn't like. I know I talked about it with my driver, but a lot of insurance companies now are looking to have front-facing dash cams in every truck, or that's what they would like to have. But that's the only thing with the insurance side. Like, with the insurance increasing, people are gonna look for ways, especially owner operators, are gonna look for ways on how they can decrease it. I know it used to be like I forgot what the percentage was. If you put your ELD link to your insurance account, it was something where you could use your ELD. But now I don't think it's as simple as that. I think there are some ELD providers, you can check out Daniel's channel in the description, Coverwell, where I know they have like a 360 front-facing dash cam, where if you use their insurance, it's cheaper than most. You'll probably cut it in half if you guys want to check that out, but you got to have a front-facing dash cams. So it's just way more regulations that I feel like are gonna come into trucking, and I don't see why they would keep allowing people to come in with no prior knowledge on a combination vehicle or a vehicle with air brakes or really just a high clearance. Like I can't see them going that much longer with vehicles like that and not regulating them as much as they do with the CDL holders. Now, I guess there are some negatives with getting a CDL. You could say having to file for IFTA, the quarterly taxes, and then you got a drug consortium, so you will be randomly drug tested once you sign up for it. But honestly, in my opinion, if you're a commercial vehicle, not necessarily just for the drivers, but for the owners, why would you want to be doing drugs? You know what I'm saying? That's just my thing. Maybe I'm still young. I never really been under that influence, so I don't see nothing wrong with staying sober. Yeah, now more than ever, in my opinion, really in the past 10 years, I just feel like it's been easier to get your CDL. I don't want y'all to look at getting your CDL or going to CDL school as something hard. Like you're really gonna know everything, in my opinion, by week 2 if you just pay attention and listen. They're gonna give you all the answers to the actual CLP test, the class learner permit. And as far as the alley docking, parallel parking, they're gonna give you literal directions on where you need to turn it and hide this cone and hide that cone. Like, it's gonna be the most, once you go, you'll understand, like, nobody really fails unless you just either fail a drug test and you get kicked out of class, or you just don't wanna drive once you start. That's the only reason why. Now, I do have my automatic. I do hear that getting your manual is harder, so you may not want to go to a 3-week school if you want to get your manual. You may want to go to like a 6 to 8 week school, like you can go to like technical schools. As long as you got Hope and Pell, you really can get it for free. If not free, the tuition won't be as high as like a quick course. Like me, I only went to a quicker course because I had a drive on the road and I had another piece of equipment that I was paying on. And I kind of needed to get on the road quick. So my school was more expensive. It was $6,000. But like I said, if I was you guys, I would just sign into like a technical college or a community college. And as long as you got Hope and Pell or you're under a certain age, I think most people can get Pell Grant, unless you just got a lot of money. And there are actually a lot of programs too. If you don't make that much money now, it's a lot of programs that'll pay for you to actually go to your, to CDL school. Or if you want to drive for a company for the first 6 months to a year, they'll still pay for your CDL. Under a certain contract, I think you got to stay there for like a year, where they pay like $200 to $300 a month while you're there. So it's gonna be pros and cons to all of this, but I'm just letting you know it's still options. It's really easy in my opinion, and it can be very affordable to get your CDL. And it's just more pros in my opinion than cons to not having it. Like, go get your CDL, even if you want to start a Boxtruck Company, if you want to start a Hotshot trucking company, because at some point you're going to start thinking in your mind, well, how am I going to expand? Do I want to keep buying box trucks? Nah, this market is a little too tough. I need to buy the bigger equipment. I need to buy a semi. I need to get a drive-in. I need to get a flatbed. You know what I mean? And that's just me. I'm just sharing y'all how my thoughts were when I was going through it. You guys may want a fleet of box trucks. You guys may want a fleet of 30-foot Hotshots or 40-foot Hotshots on 7 or 8K axles to be non-CDL. But either way, I hope this video was helpful. But I think I'm gonna come back to giving you guys vlogs. I'm actually about to go pick up a load in Kentucky now, going to Wisconsin. So I may just bring y'all with me and just post more often. It's just started raining. All right, y'all. Peace.